everyone. We're your hosts, Chelsea
and Robin.
And this is Don't Mind If We Do.
Finally, a relatable podcast for women where we can talk about whatever we want.
Don't mind if we do.
I'm gonna wanna get crazy. Be anything but behaving like you do. Make you. Oh, don't mind if we do.
We're back on Don't Mind If We Do. Today we're going to be chatting with Liza Rogers from the Women's Real Estate Network about doing what we love. And Liza's so good at it that she's actually written a book chapter about it, which is awesome.
She has. And another book coming.
Yeah, which is incredible. Let's toast to her. What are we drinking today?
Let's toast her.
Oh,
I actually just toasted myself.
I know. Thanks for not
2
including
cups.
me.
2 cups in front of my own.
Thanks for not including me in your toast.
Okay, let's
Just sit over here.
Does that sound like peeing?
Okay,
Someone peeing?
a little bit, but maybe that's not the visual that you want to have when
Peed
you're
my pants.
when you're listening to this podcast. Is that the visual you want?
Okay,
no.
cheers, I
Cheers. Okay, this
And I
is snake
didn't pee
bite.
my pants. So
This is a snake bite.
I'll read it because
Okay, I can't
have
see.
your glasses
No,
on.
I have to do the accordion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Auntie Rosie's snake bite.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who Auntie Rosie is. This beer is unfiltered and unpasteurized. Not good for kids. Again, unpasteurized is very bad for kids.
I don't know if any beer is good for kids.
No?
Okay.
So I just learned what snake bite is. Did you know what it was?
I don't know what it is.
So
What
it
is
is
it?
beer mixed with cider. Apple
Oh.
cider. So it's half and half.
Yeah, that's neat. Okay.
Yeah, so it's from Bad Dog Brewing Company in
Bad
Souk.
Dog.
Even bad dogs deserve treats. Yes. Here's our treat.
Is that us?
Bad
Are we the bad
dog.
dogs?
Here's our
Bad
treat.
dogs.
Another cheers. Did you smell it? Oh yeah, there's the smelling.
It smells like beer, but also
Cider.
maybe like apples. Yeah, so we'll see.
Apple beer.
I like that. It's definitely a different taste.
It's beerish.
Yeah.
It's more beer.
It's more beer than cider.
Cider-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
That's
give
okay.
it? We've been forgetting our 2-star reviews.
Oh, yeah. I give it 1 star. Is that okay? I don't know. I feel bad, but I'm going to give it 1 star.
But that's like the highest because if you
Oh.
give one, that was your top.
Oh, can I give half a star?
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Yeah.
bad.
You
Okay.
can give a half star.
Okay.
I also give a half a star. So together, we have a 1 out of 2.
Yeah. Which,
Math
Right.
skills.
when is our
think
math
about it
episode
for a
coming up? Let's have a math episode because we're so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even good at it. I was like, I don't even know what it means if I give it a 1.
Can we do a half?
I don't even know what our scale is. Okay. Hey, what did you want to be when you were younger? Did you always want to be a photographer?
No, I never did.
What did you want to What did you want to be when you were little?
Oh. Why do you always ask me the hard questions?
I can't help it. That's my job.
Right. Probably many different things. I have wanted to be a police officer.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
Can
see
you?
you actually being a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I would run the other way from all scary situations.
I think you would be
running
fair.
away.
I think you would be a
I
fair
would be nice,
person.
for sure.
You don't need to be
But I'd
nice.
be scared.
You can just be fair. And I feel like that's what you need to be able, like you need that sort of stoic presence.
Yeah.
I feel like you can pull that off.
I also wanted to be a lawyer.
Same.
Yeah. How fun would that be?
I actually want to be a Supreme Court judge.
Oh, I could see that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to do all the in-between work. I don't want to do all the work to really get to judgedom. Is that a thing?
Because it's like 50 years or something.
Yeah, no, I just want to go straight to being a judge. And so I feel like when I was younger, that was sort of my number one thing. But as you can see, that didn't work out.
No, I wish it did because you could sign off on my divorce because the judge keeps saying no, keeps
What?
sending it back second time. So if you were the judge,
What?
you would not have said no.
No,
I don't know.
I will call
So,
them and let them know.
And
Yeah.
then apply for a job when you call. Just be like, hey, it's my dream.
Right?
I think you could do
But
it.
now here you are, and you're a successful photographer, and I think that's you know what I mean. Like it's a
I have
testament to
had
your.
many, many, many jobs, many different careers. I've had lots of different training for different things, but I have never.
Well, and not always like glam photography
No,
either, right?
never.
Like
No, it's
like in the
stuck in the
dirt,
mud.
dirty, yeah, dirty. I didn't mean to
And
say it like
then
that, but that's how it
dirty
came out.
girl.
Dirty. You were dirty.
I was
In a different way. Yeah.
Still am a bit, but that's okay.
Okay, that's just
Another episode.
okay.
Yeah. I've been a nail tech. I've hairdresser. Like I've done lots because nothing has excited me enough where
Right.
I'll keep looking for something else that's fun. But this, sorry, my dog smells really bad.
But she's very cute.
She's cute, but this job that I landed in unexpectedly is the one I love the most. And I couldn't think of doing anything else now, which is weird because I've had lots.
Vintage chic. Check it out. See what I did there? Just
Thanks for
product
the plug.
placement. Product placement right in there.
Sponsored by.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I feel like both of us have done a lot of different things until we get to where we are now, like working on the radio. If you had asked me, 25 years ago, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm going to be an outdoor wilderness guide. Like I was, you know what I mean? That's the path that I was on. And I just thought, and then all of a sudden somebody was like, you should go into radio. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe.
I feel like you should more go into TV, but that's just my personal opinion.
You're right. I am. People are missing a lot of things by not seeing my facial expressions, right? Yeah. I feel like that's a thing.
I get it. I know,
but you're here.
But
you're here.
Else sees
but
it.
I love doing morning radio. I get to have really fun co-hosts. I've been super lucky. I now work with AJ Cruz at Ocean 98.5, who is a genius. You know what I mean?
He's not as good as a co-host as me, though, right?
It's even, is what I have to say.
Okay, but
because
you're winking
both
at me. You're winking though at me, saying that I'm the best. So that's okay.
I enjoy
I'll keep
working
that between the two of us.
I enjoy working with other people, though. I love the energy that feeds off of. I have to go. Okay. Oh, this episode's over. Okay. But I love it because it's a giant improv show every day. And I love comedy. So I just find that it's the right outlet for me. Which
it's a perfect job for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Supreme Court judge. I don't feel like you could be as funny.
I could try though. I could try. All right. I don't know. I'm getting up there in years now. I could almost be the same age as a Supreme Court judge. I could just blend in.
So you could just get grandfathered in because you're old.
I think it's grandmothered. Okay.
Grandpersoned.
The grandpersoned in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
PC.
Thank you for your comments on Facebook on this. Amy says, when I was little, I wanted to be a princess. Now I work in economic development. 5-year-old me had exceptional priorities. Right? Yeah, that's nice.
I would have gone for princess personally, but there's still time, Amy. There's
still time. There's always still time.
Still time. Barb. She wanted to be a Disney animator.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Now she's a rare art book dealer.
That's also awesome.
I've compromised. My new goal is to be the Disney historian.
That would be awesome.
Good. Yeah.
I don't know.
Animated or not animated?
Great question. Rare art book dealer, though. That's a pretty sweet gig. I don't even know what that is. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not sure either. I think she sells rare art books.
Okay. Erica says, in high school, I wanted to be in a band, go on tour, meet lots of people, right? Everyone wanted to be in a band.
I think so, yeah.
Now I work for the government, but I teach kids how to play the guitar on the side. And sometimes you have to adapt, but I guess I made it, right?
Like basically being in a band?
100%.
Yeah. Ish. Renee, I wanted to be an astronaut. I feel like a lot of kids wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah. I would say astronaut was a close second after Supreme Court Justice. Yeah. Yeah.
Never on my list.
Really?
No. And now she is an insurance consultant, so it didn't quite work out. That's quite different. Yeah.
And Megan says, when I was a little girl, I always said I wanted to be a mom. My mom had her own business that she ran out of our home. As far as I knew, that was how every mom did it. Then I got a little older and realized I could have both kids and a career and wanted to be a doctor. Then I went to high school and decided I couldn't be both a good mom and a good doctor, so I wanted to become a nurse. Then halfway through college, I realized that was total bull, and if I want to do both, I can do both. I'm not a mom or a doctor yet, but I'm now pre-med and loving every second of that decision.
Amazing.
See? It's never too late.
So you'll meet another doctor, become a mom and a doctor, and a doctor's wife.
But you're also a doctor, so
So he's the doctor's husband?
The doctor is in. If your dreams don't scare you, make them bigger. Today's guest knows all about that and lives the life that she wants to. Please welcome from the Women's Real Estate Network and now critically acclaimed author.
Round of applause
right?
for that.
Part of the new best-selling book, The Everyday Women's Guide to Doing What You Love. Please welcome Liza Rogers. The crowd goes wild.
The crowd goes wild.
Oh my goodness, it's hilarious. I love you guys. Critically acclaimed.
I don't know. Is that even a thing? How do you know when that happens? What does that mean? Yeah.
What drugs are you on, man?
The good kind, obviously.
Oh, I love it. I'm so happy to be here, ladies. Just first of all, I'm so proud of you and happy that you're doing the podcast. Don't mind if we do. It's fantastic. And I know you're getting lots of airplay and lots of comments and lots of attention. And I'm thrilled to be your guest today.
It's also critically acclaimed, just to let you know.
It's also
Yes.
critically acclaimed, right? A future
By us. It's critically acclaimed by us.
Exactly.
If you come on this podcast, you might be critical and also acclaimed. Okay? That's fine.
Critically acclaim you. That's the thing.
Liza,
Awesome stuff.
we love it though because you're such a powerful woman, for other women. And I think just that the kind of success that you have risen to and come into is all of your own doing. And I think for many of us, we're like, we want to have it all.
We want to be Liza Rogers.
Right? We want to be
do.
Liza Rogers. So here we
do.
are. Even if she has a tendonitis in her wrist,
Oh,
we
she
still want to
does.
be Liza Rogers. And we're just curious, how did you get here? Like you've obviously established the Women's Real Estate Network. That's huge. Now you're writing books or parts of books. And we just think, like, how do we get to this stage? Every woman wants to be you. How do we do it? In a nutshell. Okay, we only have a limited amount of
So
time.
1 second answer on that.
limited
big
amount of
question.
time.
Well, first of all, I haven't gotten here by myself. I mean, one of the things that you hear me talk about all the time, and actually the chapter in the book, is collaborating for the win. Because everything that I do involves someone else. Like as a single person with no kids and, no husband, I don't have to worry about too many other people. I don't have to be a responsible adult per se. So that gives me a lot of freedom, right?
So there's the first
but
tip.
it also means, so what was that, Chelsea?
There's the first tip. Don't have kids or a husband.
Right?
From
Is it
Liza
lonely?
Rogers.
Is it lonely at the top, Liza Rogers?
Well, this is the great thing, right? It's not, because you get to pick your friends, you get to pick your family.
Right.
Well, that's a whole other story, because Robin, as you know, I'm meeting my dad in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure
Very
we're going to talk
exciting.
about
Oh,
that
I'm sure.
in-
Yeah, we will absolutely talk about that. I'm super excited for you.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
But to try to address one thing at a time, because I know we're going to go all over the place.
We could
we're
talk for
we're
hours,
always
probably.
We're always like this when we chat. I didn't get here by myself, right? I mean, everything that I've achieved has been a combination of all of the people that have somehow jumped on my train. Whether it's as a volunteer or as, a photographer or as a radio host that's just, kind of like gotten dragged along. And I'm like, Robin, I want to hang out with you.
Who is that? I
That's
wish I
what
knew
I
her.
said, too.
I wish I knew that woman.
That's what I said, and now here we are.
And now she regrets it.
Get off the train, please.
Stop the train! Stop
Get
the
off my train.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I have I've been very lucky, because I've just been so lucky to attract awesome people who have volunteered, worked for almost no money, have partnered with me, have given me huge sums of money to partner with me, and I haven't done any of it by myself. Like, that's literally the key. I have not done any of it by myself. It has all been collaboration and curation and creation of teams and who to work with and how to work with people, and bringing a skill set to the table, right? I mean,
Right.
My best skill is my personality. I mean, people tell me that all the time. Like, you've got a big personality, you're so positive, you make people feel great. And then, people want to give me $250,000 to be a partner in a property. And I'm like,
Amazing, right?
So we need to up our personalities.
Yeah,
then, 'cause
obviously.
nobody's
I find
handing money.
you really shy and reserved. I don't know what you're talking about. So that's fine.
I'd only
know
give you
that people-
100,000, I think.
Were you always like this, Liza? Like growing up, when you were a little girl, little Liza Rogers running through the fields
little Liza.
with the wind blowing in her hair? Like, what did you want to do then? And were you always this exuberant? Yeah.
I was shy. So this is where the kind of conversation gets interesting, right? Because I was actually quite shy. And because we moved a lot when I was a kid, I was always the new kid at school. So, I don't know if people remember what it's like when you're the new kid at school, but I was the new kid at school almost every year. And, that was partly because as a single mom, my mom was just always trying to bring us to a better neighborhood, a better life. And so that meant we moved a lot. But I was exposed enough being a new kid that I didn't want to get involved in a lot of other things, because then you're even more vulnerable, right? You're like, oh, here's the new kid. Oh, and she's going to join the drama class. Oh, I don't think so. So I was actually really shy as a kid. And somewhere along the line, I think it was in college, actually, I had to give a speech, and I just somehow decided that I was going to just, knock it out of the park. And I just made the decision that if I was going to have the life that I wanted, I needed to not be shy anymore. And so I worked at it. I watched people who were extroverted, and I realized that, a lot of times we're all in the same kind of position, right? Like if you're standing in a room with 50 people, somebody has to start the conversation, right? And I just decided I've got to be that person. And I remember learning, little things that you learn, right? Like go into a room and be the first person to say hi. Be the first person to smile. Be the first person to welcome someone and make them feel comfortable. It doesn't matter if it's your room or not, right? If you go in and make other people feel comfortable, that, it's empowering, because then you just create this kind of confidence in other people, right? It literally is empowerment when you're standing in a room and nobody's talking to you, or, there's hesitation. Just be the person that breaks the ice. Like we've all got this, and I shouldn't say we all, I'm generalizing here. A lot of people have this, well, they didn't say hi to me first. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sakes, right? Can I swear?
You just did.
Yes, please.
Too late.
Don't mind if we do.
Don't mind if we
I was going to say the F-bomb, but then I thought, maybe it's a family show. So.
It is a podcast, so I think really anything goes.
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Feel free to do it.
Yeah.
Try to limit it to one swear word every minute and a half, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Like, don't
Got
overdo it.
Yeah. So that was it. I mean, I realized like if I wanted to get where I wanted to be in the world, I had to not be shy anymore. So, Robin, I did actually start out shy, which I know most people laugh when they hear me say that. Yeah.
I don't even believe it. And also but when you were little, were you like, oh, I'm going to go on to create an organization that is going to help women get rich? Like basically that's what you do. Okay. In a nutshell. Yeah.
I mean, that realization, really only came about, I don't know, how am I? I'm 52 now. It came about 12 years ago when I was working for the Olympics in Vancouver. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to do when the Olympics finish? Because I have been in tourism and events for so long. And, after the Olympics, like 2008, we had the global financial crisis. So tourism was falling apart. And then after the Olympics, every single person in Vancouver wanted to be an event manager. So the salaries dropped by like 30%.
Right.
So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I still want to travel. I still want to be in events. I don't want to, at this point, I pretty much knew that I wasn't going to have kids. So how am I going to keep this lifestyle going? And I looked for all kinds of things like, how am I going to live this crazy lifestyle of going adventuring and swimming with whale sharks and taking a year off to live in Australia and basically live like a retired person before I retire? And the only solution that I could come up with was real estate, because, having a couple of properties, having some income coming in, 1, 2, or 3 properties is all you need, and you can change your life. And so I just studied. And through that, as I was going through that learning process, I just had so many women come to me and saying, wow, you really seem to be learning a lot. Like, why are you so passionate about this? I'm like, because it can change our lives, right? It can give me the freedom that I want for the rest of my life. And it can help me make sure that my mom has a great retirement. And I want to own properties in sunny destinations. I mean, at this exact moment, we have one of our REN members from Toronto flew to Puerto Vallarta, and she's staying down there for a month to look at property in Mexico.
That's so fun. And one of them is going to be saved for the Don't Mind If We Do podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we only
Good.
podcast from remote locations in beautiful places now.
Yeah,
Right?
we do.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know what REN is, what is it?
Yeah.
What's REN?
What's REN? So
Tell
REN
us.
is the Women's Real Estate Network. And a lot of people think, oh, it must be a bunch of realtors, getting together. And it's not. It's women who are interested in real estate investing. And it's a network, right? So it's a social community. And there's lots of organizations all around the world now that deal with real estate investing. It is a popular pastime for many, many, many people. It's become more and more accessible. You know, real estate used to only be for the rich, kind of like, you know, cruising and flying was for the wealthy. And now it is really accessible. But what I was finding was women invest differently. Women invest, it takes them a little bit longer to make decisions, and they generally invest more holistically. So it's not just about the bottom line. So for example, some of our REN members want to build rental housing to provide housing for the community. Some REN members want to build seniors communities or seniors homes. You know, those of you who know me know I talk about co-living and co-housing a lot, because as we age, and especially for women, and we can talk about some statistics, but women are living longer and their quality of life can sharply decline as they age if they haven't prepared themselves for, for their future. And basically, who the hell wants to live in a retirement home after everything we've been through with COVID? Yeah. So the co-housing, co-living movement is about us creating our own retirement home. So whether that's a tiny home village in Souk, or a mansion in Costa Rica, or a beach house in Mexico, we don't need to own these things on our own. So when you collaborate, you know, there's that key word again. When you collaborate and you co-own with a few other people, you get the best of both worlds. You get to share the reward of this lifestyle. You get to share the risk of, you know, not having the burden of ownership and becoming mortgage poor all by yourself. And so basically REN was a group of women that came along and said, you know, we want this lifestyle. We want to share. We want to collaborate. And yeah, we want to be wealthy and be unapologetic about it. And wealthy doesn't necessarily mean that we're all walking around with millions of dollars in our jeans. It means that we live a rich life. And that to most people just means the freedom to choose the life you want. Right? It's not about having tons of money in your bank. It's about having enough to create the life that you want. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, and financial freedom is huge. Like, to be able to say that you actually have that, I mean, it's such a small percentage of the actual population. But we know, Liza, right, that real estate is the only investment that actually goes up in value. Anything else that you buy, a car, appliances, anything, they all depreciate, right? A car depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot, but real estate is the only thing that keeps going up.
Yes, real estate is definitely one of the strongest assets to purchase. And yes, generally speaking, over the long term, it goes up, right? If you look historically at real estate, yes, there are times when it goes down. You know, we've got to be realistic here. There are times when it goes down. There are times when interest rates make real estate really hard to get into. I mean, our parents were buying real estate when the rates were like 18 and 19%, and they were still able to get equity at the end and have this great asset that they can either tap into or pass on to their children or grandchildren. So yes, real estate is a great, it's a tangible asset that people can see. And one of the things that I say is, how many other businesses can you get into where the bank is willing to lend you 80, 95, even in some cases, 100% of the funds required to start the business, right? So when you think about real estate as a business, you can actually get access to a lot of funds. There are government programs that help you build seniors housing, and they'll give you 100% of the money. I mean, I've had colleagues who have received 110% financing to construct rental buildings and put commercial on the ground level and get loans to actually build out their commercial site. So they've gotten money for their furnishings and the layout. And so what other business can you start?
So why wouldn't you do it? Why aren't we in there?
Yeah. And so sometimes it's a little bit scary. And that's why, joining a real estate network, whether you join someone like the RAIN, the Real Estate Investment Network of Canada, or FIRE, which is Females in Real Estate, which is my friend Tahani in Toronto, or, Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Kiyosaki. I mean, how many of us have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and said, oh my God, it changed my life. For those of you who haven't read it yet, it's a good one to start with.
It is a good one, yeah.
Yeah. And join a network of people who are doing it. Be the person in the room who needs the education the most. Surround yourself with all the smart people in the room. I mean, I often love to be, the stupidest person in the room, right? Because I'm going to learn a lot more if I'm hanging out with a bunch of smart people.
Totally.
Is co-housing for everyone, Liza? Like you've lived in these situations where, you know, because it's not just like you getting a house with a bunch of your friends. It's different people coming into the house, right? Like it's people that you may not have been friends with before.
All in one house, though, or just
It can be, yeah.
all in one?
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Co-housing is generally where you might have like a tiny home village and you each have your own house.
That sounds fun.
Co-living is where you're actually like in a house together and you've got, you know, shared kitchen and shared spaces.
But a mansion house. It's a mansion house. It is
Exactly.
not just like a regular house. It's like $1 million homes, right? Like
like
millions.
Michael Bublé's house, right? I think I told you that I had lived in Michael Bublé's house right next door to Michael Bublé. So we had like this, I can't even remember how many square feet it was now, 7,000 square feet with 8 or 9 bathrooms. And, you know, more closet space than anybody knew what to do with. And Michael as a neighbor, it was just too bad that we lived there during COVID because we so wanted to have Michael over singing in the backyard. And I think he so wanted to join us.
I'm sure he did. So Michael, if you're listening to this podcast,
Right? Which you obviously are.
obviously, next time,
Yep.
sing for us.
Good. Yeah.
So mansion house, tiny house. You know, I often joke and say that I worked and lived on the largest co-living community in the world, which was a cruise ship, right? So you're 30 seconds away from the captain, your boss, your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend.
Your girlfriend.
That's how you roll on cruise ships.
Right?
and you know, and you've got culture and ages all from all over the world, and somehow they make it work. And so it transitions into the same kind of thing. So the short answer to your question, Robin, is co-housing or co-living for everyone? No. Definitely not.
No,
you know, you have to choose that. And a lot of times the people who never expected to enjoy it are the people who enjoy it the most.
Yeah.
And I've lived with, you know, 2-year-olds with their parents up to 78-year-olds with dementia and everyone in between, all colors, all shapes, all sizes, all ethnicities, all socioeconomic backgrounds. And the most fun people to live with are people that you don't know. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's much easier to move in with strangers because there's that, you know, you want to start off being polite and having discussions and, you know, do you mind if whereas if you move in with friends have these assumptions that, you know, everything's going to be okay. And you don't kind of go through the formal process of agreements and then you just get pissed off with each other when things go wrong. So I've found it much easier to live with strangers than with friends. You know?
Makes sense.
Right? That's a good tip. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to just hear a little bit about your goats for a second.
So you're working on a project right now,
Yeah,
right,
tell us
Liza?
about this project
Yeah.
and your goats.
Yes.
Your
We're
kids.
segueing to the goats. All right. So yes, the
we are.
goats are a very fun part of the project that I'm working on right now. And so the story goes that one of my Wren members approached me and said, oh my gosh, I've had this incredible property fall into my lap. I'm not quite sure, you know, all the steps I need to go through. And it's a possible subdivision and a possible organic farm. Long story short, she went through a process of trying to decide if she could do it on her own. And then I was having a conversation with one of my best friends, Stefan, who is now moving over to Victoria. And I said, you know, we may have an opportunity to invest in this property. It's 145 acres in Souk.
What wasn't Sue?
And, you know, a couple years ago, we might have said, 145 acres in Souk, like, who cares? Now everybody's moving to Souk. So it's just like the traffic is getting crazy. But anyway, I mentioned this property to Stefan, and I said, you know, if we invest with Brett, we could probably partner with her on the property. And Stefan's like, okay, well, let's have a chat. So we called Brett basically that night, and she literally was just about to borrow money from some, let's just say it, some drug dealers.
Good.
So we kind of joke about that, right? So she was about to borrow some money. And we came along and she's like, oh my God, of course I'd love to have you and Stefan as partners. And so Stefan wrote a check and we drew up partnership paperwork. And now we are, part owners in 145 acres of property in Souk. 30 acres of it will be farmland. We already have 10 chickens, 3 goats. Here come the goats.
Nice.
3 horses. We just got turkeys. Brett just got turkeys this week, 2 turkeys, and apparently they're pet turkeys. So
Good.
I don't know what that
so they're
means.
safe.
And there's a cow coming in the summer, in August. So there's a calf coming as well. So we're also planting vines. So we're going to, probably have a little vineyard just so that we can have our own, King Creek Estates label, which would be kind of fun. So how did the goats come into this picture, right? When you buy 145 acres and it was land that had been forested and now we're working on setting it up as a subdivision. So there will be 5 10-acre parcels that we're selling probably September. And there's a lot of land to clear. And it was kind of like, why do you get goats to clear the land? And it was kind of like as a joke. But we got 1 goat, and then this goat really was like a human. I mean, this goat wanted to be either a dog or a person. So it just like screamed if you left it alone. It raced down the driveway behind the truck and followed the trucks. And so when we got the 2 baby goats, Midi and Carmi, Feta, who was the older lonely goat, now had a family. Right? So now the 3 of these goats are inseparable. And they have become completely free-range goats. They don't even come to their pen anymore. They just roam the property and climb the hills. And we often think they're going to fall off the side of a cliff, but they are super nimble. They're just incredible. And they're super photogenic. They're great in video.
They're just like you, Liza Rogers. You're describing yourself.
Yeah.
Sure-footed, great in photos,
Nimble.
And so now, everybody wants to come and see the goats. So
Nice.
when we finish the roads, which will probably be in about 3 weeks' time, and when I get back from Ontario after meeting my whole new family, we will have an event up there and everybody can come and meet the goats.
Fun.
Let's stay on that topic for a second because you're about to have a major life shift. And in fact, you've already kind of had it, but you have been searching for your birth father for a very long time. And
Da, da, da.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
Found
It's
him?
crazy. Have to take a breath. So it was September 29th last year, about 5 minutes before I had a call with my accountant, that I got a message ping from Ancestry.com saying, you have a new match. And imagine just opening basically the equivalent of an email and seeing a line that says, new match, likely relationship, parent, child.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, what? And, quick messages ensued. And much to my surprise, here's my dad. And I'm literally like, oh my God, I have to get on a call with my accountant. And I'm trying to have this call with my accountant. And I'm like, out of breath and I'm crying and I don't know what to do. And so
your accountant's like, get it together over there, goat herder. What's going on? Yeah.
Like, we got taxes to file, man. I just found my dad. What the fuck? Sorry.
Oh, there's the
Like, every once
F-bomb.
in a while.
Good thing we have a disclaimer for these kinds of episodes. Okay.
How does that even work? When it pops up in your email, does it give his name and his phone number?
Yes.
It does?
Yes. So it's
Wow,
it's
no
on
privacy.
Ancestry. It basically allows you to, you can control how much you want to share. And, I'm an open book. So
Yeah.
I
You don't
was like,
say.
yes,
You don't say.
I don't say.
Critically
Yes, open-
acclaimed.
Critically
open book.
acclaimed.
Yeah.
So funny, critically acclaimed open book. So there he was, and it was a huge surprise. And not only do I find a new dad, but I have 2 sisters, 4 nieces and nephews, about 30 cousins, and it turns out I'm half Italian. I mean, what?
Again, I'm
That
not surprised
explains
by
it,
this.
yeah.
This does not surprise me.
That explains it.
Right? So you're going to meet them for the first time. Like you're going to Toronto.
Yeah, so Robin, he's coming here first.
What? Oh, okay. I didn't know that part. That's exciting.
Yeah. I know. So he's arriving on August 2nd, and he figured it would be good for us to spend a couple of days together before we, put me on parade for, all the family. Aww. So, yeah, I'm just trying to decide, do we have the radio station to welcome him down at the airport?
Right, obviously.
I feel like you have Don't Mind If We Do come to welcome him at the
Don't Mind
airport.
If We Do is huge. I don't know. We're
everyone listens.
Yeah,
so.
we're huge in Japan. So
actually, we're really huge in India.
Japan. Well, hey, if you're big
that's
in
a true
Japan.
fact. It's a true fact.
we're going to the Olympics.
Yeah,
okay, that's
India
it.
loves us.
But this is a huge deal. Like, what kind of feelings come up around that? And how long have you been searching for your dad?
Well, I've been looking for about 30 years.
Wow.
It's an interesting story. There's lots more details that I'll be writing a book.
Another book?
Another
critically acclaimed.
Yeah. Bestseller.
It'll be another book. We'll probably do that one, in a couple of years once some more of the dust has settled. But yeah, he was looking for me. I was looking for him. We were both not exactly looking for the right person. So the DNA match is really what resolved that problem. Mm-hmm. Our DNA shows up and...
So does he have to? He has to have done the same ancestry thing as well. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So so basically, what happened was my sister, who I've recently discovered, she did her DNA, and so her and I were messaging back and forth because it's like, well, this is weird. Like, how are we related? Because it doesn't necessarily say sister; it just says, first or second cousin, and we're both like, how can we not know that we have a cousin? Right. So she went to her dad and said, did you once say that you thought you might have a daughter? And he said, yeah. And so I think I found her. And so he went and did his DNA like immediately. And then that was when it all came out.
I just got goosebumps.
So, I know.
What did you do?
What did your, can I ask you, what was the reaction when you told your mom that you wanted to look for him?
Oh, yeah, that's for the book.
Ooh, you don't get to know until you read the book.
Oh, that's like a tease. It's like teasing your life.
Right?
I can't handle it, Liza.
It's a moneymaker. You got to buy the book.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Buy the book. $50.
It was a bit of a shock, and so after I had finished on the phone with my accountant, I literally jumped into my car and went straight to my mom's house, poured a glass of wine, sat her down and said, so we have to have a chat. And she's like, are you pregnant? I'm like, Mom. I'm like, are you dying? I'm like, Mom, I'm not dying. I'm not dying. I'm not pregnant.
Those are the two things, death or pregnancy.
And then I told her, and it was a bit of a shock. So yeah, there's a whole other story there.
I bet there's a story there.
We'll wait for the book for that one. So it's
I don't know. I have time now. I'm not doing anything. So Chelsea's here. We're fine. Yeah. Okay. 3 hours later.
We'll wait for the book.
This podcast episode is 17 hours. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 3 parts. Yeah.
3 parts.
So it's very exciting. Robin and Chelsea, I would love for him to meet you. He wants to meet as many people as possible. I am going to bring a friend to the airport to videotape the moment because I have no idea what my reaction is going to be. And
you're going to lose it. How can you not lose it? Could you imagine that moment? You're going to lose it. Yeah.
So
you have to get that video and you have to send it to us.
Do you need a photographer there as well?
Oh, look, guess who is a photographer?
And a radio station?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's super fine with us making a big production out of it. So we can talk about that. And if you guys want to be there and we do a big welcome, then that would be pretty
a big
cool.
to-do.
And you guys would just see 2 people probably crying and a big emotional thing, and it would be amazing.
2 people, I feel like it would be us as well. So
yeah, and everyone at the airport. I bet you everyone at the airport loses it that day. Okay. Oh, Liza, congratulations on that. Congratulations on the book. Tell us a bit about the book, the critically acclaimed, best-selling book, The Everyday Women's Guide to Doing What You Love. There's 51 authors on this book. Is that correct?
Yes, there are 51 authors on the book. And so what I love about this is I met Galit Ventura Rosen. So Galit is a woman that I met. Gosh, where did we meet? She reached out to me because I guess she had heard about Ren, and she's in the U.S. and she's a commercial broker in Vegas, and she's super successful, and she's really about empowering women. And so her and I met and chatted, and she's like, I really want to be involved with your group. And I'm like, great, that's fantastic. We'd love to have you. And then they started talking about this book. So she's written a couple of other books and decided, like, wouldn't it be fun to collaborate and do a book with, 50 women? So the chapters are short and sweet and to the point, and they're just very clear tips and tricks on how these women who, we all consider ourselves everyday women, like there's nothing. All of us started from somewhere, right? And this is the thing that people often forget when you become successful. Like, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Overnight successes usually take 20 or 30 years to get there. So Galit's brought all of these amazing women together, Galit and her partner, Angela Giles, and they've just done an amazing job of helping these women write this book and write these stories. And it's just been such a fun journey, and she's having us get together in Vegas in October, and so we're going to get to meet some of the other authors. And so, yeah, it's the story of, how do you go from just being an everyday woman to being a woman who does what you love? And that's the thing that it's not that big of a mystery. You just have to decide that that's what you want to do.
Well, and I think what I love about this conversation with the three of us is I think all three of us currently do what we love, right?
Exactly.
And that's why,
we work for it.
We work for it. We've all worked hard to get to where we are, but we all share that in common. And I think, I can think back though, 10, 15, 25 years ago, did I see myself doing what I'm doing today? Did I see myself being on the radio? Probably not. but I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's interesting to see how life sort of makes your path and how you can also manipulate your path to get it to the place where you want it to be and be able to do, like you said, what you love. Because there's so many people out there that are not doing what they're loving, right?
Exactly. And, ladies, as you say, like, we're great examples of that, right? And life is too short, and if the pandemic has taught us anything, like, it's fleeting. And so why wouldn't you put every ounce of your being into doing what you love, what brings you joy? Because when you're joyful, that impacts all the people around you. And that itself has, like, so much power. I mean, I kind of just take my happy-go-lucky personality kind of for granted, but people always, ladies, it's the same with you, right? Like, people always say, oh my God, when I'm around you, I'm happy and you just make it so easy. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just being happy, right? And you guys are the same.
Chelsea's not the same. When Chelsea's
I've never
working,
heard that
she's in work mode and she's like, stick your neck out, bend your back, put your foot out here.
Yeah, I'm just bossy. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before.
And fair enough, right? Like, when I'm looking
Well, you're great at it, so.
right? But fair enough.
I'm putting my foot out there right now. Okay?
Right? Stick your chin out further.
It's funny because you both have had a photo shoot with me, so you both know.
I'm doing it now.
Stick your chin out.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love it. Sorry,
That was
Liza,
a year
actually,
ago.
what I love the most, though, is that in this chapter that you've written, so it's called From Ordinary to Extraordinary, Success Stories from Women Investing in Real Estate, but it's not even just about that. One of your key messages, and I've heard you talk about this many times, is to know what your why is. Why is that so important, and what does that mean?
Yes. So you have the advance copy of the book that I'm
Oh, I thought I
releasing.
just knew you. I did.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you even read it?
Let me just quickly read it.
So that's the book that's coming out in September with 10 women from across Canada who've succeeded in real estate, and they've got great stories. So so the why, right?
This is a second
So this is a second book? You're already critically acclaimed and moving on?
What? Is this going to be a movie?
Second book.
I thought that was the chapter in the book. No, this is a whole other book.
Yeah, so Everyday Women's Guide to Doing What You Love is Galit and Angela's book that they wrote with 50 women.
Right.
And that was out. That's out in the world. It's reached bestseller
it's on
status.
Amazon.
It's on Amazon, and I've got hard copies coming soon, so I'll make sure I get you a copy. And we'll
Autographed?
have that one. And then in September, we're releasing From Ordinary to Extraordinary, which is the book that I've created with 10 women from across Canada.
Got it. So they're two different books. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I didn't get that in
I
the
didn't
email.
get that
Yeah,
either.
Okay,
so
sorry.
this one's going to be double.
That's going to be
acclaimed.
double it. And so explain to us the idea behind knowing your why, because I do think that this is really important for everyone to know.
It's very important. So, first of all, I always say to people, watch Simon Sinek's original video about finding your why. It talks a lot about the corporate look at it, like why a company needs to get people to love why they're doing things rather than, what they're actually doing. And he uses Microsoft and Apple as examples. So great video to watch, really kind of helps to cement where that sort of started. But we often get frustrated in what we do or how we're doing things. And those are not helpful in moving you forward to where you really want to go in life. So when you know why you're doing what you're doing, that's where you can get a lot more power. So a couple of things that are, kind of to add to that. If you know why you're doing what you're doing, then you can usually figure out how to do anything, right? So you might decide to keep the job that you don't necessarily love because there's some end point that's going to get you to the why you're doing this job, right? The what or the how, people get lost in that, and that's where you often give up. But when you know why, right? I'm doing this job because in 2 years it's going to give me enough money that I can send my kid to a better school, or I can take a trip around the world, or I can help my mom retire, right? That's the good stuff. That's the juice in life. That's like, it has nothing to do with, what you do at work or how you do it. It's, why are you doing this? So for me, why am I doing real estate? And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. It's, I want the life that I want, period. That's it. This isn't a negotiation. And that means I want to be able to travel with my mom. I mean, all my friends who meet my mom want to hang out with her. And they love her, and she's full of life. And I get my zest for life from my mom because she has lived every day of her life like it's the last. And it's so funny. Like, she's going to Mexico at Christmas time, and all my friends found out, mom's going to Mexico at Christmas. So now there's like 8 of us.
Oh, fun.
I love it.
Christmas. Yeah. My friends and their families are coming to join my mom and hang out with us in Mexico. So
I didn't get the invite for that one.
Same.
Did you? Did you get the invite?
We didn't get those. We didn't get our invites yet, Liza. They must be lost in the mail.
I'll get them for you for
not
sure. I'll
arrived
get them
yet.
for you for sure.
Perfect.
So so people have to figure out their why, right? Like, why do you do what you do? Because there's some exciting thing that you're working towards. And that could be the betterment of your children's lives, or the betterment of your parents' lives, or the fact that you just want what you want, right? Like, one of the things that women tend to do, a lot of women make decisions based on pressure from family, pressure from society, a little bit of martyrdom in there. And a lot of people say, well, you were a little bit of an early adopter to the whole independent woman thing, because I decided very early that having kids and being married, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And people say, but you make such a great mom. You're missing out. You're going to be so sad when you're older that you didn't have kids. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. I love kids. I love my nieces and nephews, but happy to be free and fancy free and able to travel around the world.
So basically, if you want to live in a mansion or be a goat farmer and live your best life, go and check out Liza's chapter in the Everyday Women's Guide to Doing What You Love. Where can people get that right now, Liza? They can get it everywhere, right?
Yep. So Everyday Guide to Doing What You Love is on Amazon, and it's interesting. Like, I guess in Canada, not everybody's used to buying on Amazon yet, because everybody says, I don't have a Kindle. But the Kindle is on the cloud now. So it's like you buy it on Kindle and then you open it on your laptop. So it's super easy. So you can buy it. I think the price has gone up from $1.99 to $3.99.
That's because it's
Good.
critically acclaimed.
Right.
Critically acclaimed goes for $3.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll actually have some hard covers or some soft covers or some actual books in a couple
Nice.
weeks. They're just being shipped out now, so I'll make sure I have one for you. And then super excited about the book coming out in September, and really excited about live events. Right, like can't wait to sit down with you ladies and have a glass of wine.
That would be very fun.
Yeah, we
Yes.
are going to shake a bottle and just spray it all over your head and say congratulations for finding your dad, which is awesome. Yeah.
At the airport, we're
At
going to
the
do
airport. We're going to
Yes.
be there with Prosecco. Okay, that's it. Liza, if people want to check out the Women's Real Estate Network, how do they find you if they've got any questions or they want to connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's super easy. It's ren.club. So that's WREN.CLUB. And you can email me at Liza, Liza, @ren.club. Super easy.
Amazing. Super easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And awesome to be here with you ladies today. I'm just, I love both of you. I think you're amazing.
We
The work
love
that
you as
both
well.
do, the work that you both do, the personalities you have, and it's just always a joy. And I hope we get to hang out more in the 'future.
Oh,
Definitely,
do
we
too.
will for
Yeah, for sure.
sure.
Rate this podcast experience on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being outstanding and 1 being terrible.
10.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's the right
nice.
answer.
Good.
That's the right answer.
Robin had her fingers up.
Woo!
holding 10.
I was going to
Say 10.
flip this
Say
table,
10.
Liza. I was going to flip a table.
Which is not hard because it's very narrow
very
and
flimsy.
wobbly.
Okay.
So,
Thanks so much for being here, Liza
thank you,
Rogers.
Liza, and good luck with
Thanks,
your
ladies.
good luck with
Robin,
your
thanks,
stuff.
Kelsey.
Don't Mind If We Do is brought to you by Vintage Chic Portrait, helping everyday women feel beautiful in their own skin.
Thanks for listening to Don't Mind If We Do. If you loved it, please share this episode with a friend and follow us and check us out on Facebook, and we'll follow you back. As long as you don't mind if we do.
You probably won't mind. You'll probably like it.